Good morning to everyone. The fire of literacy is created by the sparks between a child, a book, and the person reading. So, listening is the most agreeable way of enduring life. First of all, I would like to thank our principal for giving this opportunity to conduct this event. Behalf of UHV Cell, King's College of Engineering, I'm immense pleasure to welcome our resource person, Dr.L. Rajesh, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Rajah Serfoji College, Thanjavur, to deliver a lecture on literary activities, translation. I welcome you, sir. Now I hand over the session to Rajesh, Dr. Rajesh, sir.
Thank you,
Welcome
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
A respected chairman, respected principal of King's College, my dear friends, all the faculty members and dear students. Good morning, all of you. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Uday Kumar sir for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And this program is conducted by Universal Human Values Cell. The right person is having the right place. Right, and such a man of human values is Dr. Uday Kumar sir. I thank you very much for giving this wonderful opportunity to have an interaction through online. So earlier, 2 years before I came to your college, and in person I discussed with the students of King's College. But this time the scenario is completely different. That's what I'm talking through online. So okay, anyhow, I'm so happy. Today my lecture will be on translation. You can ask me why engineering college students should know about translation. To that, we must understand some points on translation. So some are telling that a translation is an art. Some are telling that a translation is a science. How can we say that a translation is an art? Yes, whenever you are doing a translation from one language to another language.
You, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you so much. So you have to think about translation. Uh, Someone is telling that a translation is an art. Why? A person who is translating from one language to other language, we should give our creativity. We should have some imagination. Then only it will be a very good translation. So this is an argument given by some people. Translation is an art. But there are some other people who are talking that translation is a science. How can you say the translation is a science? Already there is a document. When you are translating that document to another language, so there should be a logic, there should be a method, there should be a rule. Whenever you are working on a rule, it will be a science. These are the two arguments. One group, they are telling that it is an art. Another group, they are telling that it is a science. But what I am telling for the engineering college students, nowadays the translation has become a business. It is a commerce. Most of the engineers, they are doing translation as a business, as a part-time job. That's what I think that it is necessary that engineers should know about translation, because so it has become an engineering. So because lots of translators are engineers. Engineers are very good in translation. That's the point. So they have known some technology. That's what they are easily doing translation. Okay. So if you want to do a part-time job, you can think of translation. For that, you have to understand two different concepts nowadays. We'll go to next slide. Why translation? There are two concepts. One is globalization. Another one is localization. These are the two concepts everybody should understand. You know that what is globalization? Whatever we have in our hands, whatever the product, whatever the matter, whatever the material, whatever the medicine we have, we are making that product to the world market. We want to sell whatever we have in the world market. That is called globalization. If we make a short film, we are not making that short film for a particular group. We are willing to give it in the world market. We are taking it to the America. We are willing to take it to the Singapore. We are willing to take it to the Malaysia. So whatever it is, everybody, because of technology, we want to take. Once upon a time, we were living in a village. We want to take a product to the next city. But nowadays, it's not like this. Whatever we think, whatever a product, whatever business, we want to do that business in a foreign country. That is a plan. That is globalization. We want to take everything to the global market. That is globalization. So another concept, that is localization. There are a lot of MNC companies are there. That companies, they are having their product. So lots of household things are there in our place. It can be a soap or a paste or whatever it is. They want to bring their product to our house. They want to localize. I think that you can understand what are the two different concepts. MNC companies, they are willing to bring their product to our place. Their translation takes place. What kind of a translation? They are working, they are describing the product in English only, but when they want to reach the local people, they are translating it to the regional languages. They are, for example, if you think about Tamil Nadu, this is English to Tamil. How many products we are getting from MNC companies, the world famous companies? So you just look around your house, how many things you have. If you look around your house, refrigerator will be there, AC will be there, laptop will be there, mobile will be there. Everything is a product we are getting from MNC companies. How they sell that product? They are translating from English to Tamil. So localization is taking languages. If there is a word, that word will have many meanings. So you must know that. As a translator, we should be very good in the lexicon of a word. You must know about thesaurus. You must know about the synonyms and antonyms of a word. So you should be good in both languages and all the levels. Whenever you are translating to another language, in that language, you should be very good in the grammar of that language. If you're weak in the grammar of a language, your translation won't be good. So if you think about no, the Tamil Nadu students are those who are studying from Thanjavur, you are definitely, you would be somewhat good in Tamil, right? Your so medium of instruction might have been Tamil in the schooling, but in the engineering you will be doing in English. So definitely you will be good in both languages because your mother tongue in Tamil, you are an outside world, you are talking and you are speaking in Tamil language, but in the campus you are speaking English. So in these two languages you will be very good. That's what I'm telling. Engineers can be the best translators because you will be very good, and those who are from the villages will be very good at translation. If there is a person who is doing engineering in Chennai, they will be very good in English only. They may not know Tamil language, they may not know Tamil grammar, right? So you will be the best person to do the translation because you will be somewhat good in both languages. So come back to the next point. Bicultural language is not only enough to become a translator. If you want to become a very good translator, you should be good in both the culture. We must go back to our culture. So Tamil Nadu is a country, is a state of culture. Whatever we do, there will be a culture. There will be something related to culture. It is traditional. So you, to understand our culture, you should be very good in the tradition. You must understand the culture of a state. At the same time, when you are translating to an English, so you must know English culture also. So you must read lots of novels, lots of plays. You must know the social history of England when you are translating to English. So the point is that you should be bilingual. You must know both languages at the same time. You should be good in both the cultures, source culture and target language culture. Next point, I would like and movement. If you are a translator, you should not be an old person. You must be an updated person. You must know about the manner of the society, the movement of the society. Nowadays, if you translate, you must understand after Corona what's happening in the society. You must know the economics of the country. You must know the society, updated society. If you are a traditional, if you are thinking about old time, so you are bookish, you could not be a translator. If you want to become a translator, you should be updated. You should know the manner. You should know the movement. Not only that, you must be technical. If you are a technical person, that's what I'm telling. The engineers are the technical persons. So the lots of tools are there. Google Translate is there. Trados are there. Lot of tools are available online to translate. If you take those tools, that will finish 50 or 60% of translation. Next part you must do. Next few percentage you have to translate. So technically, you can become a very good translator. Not only that, you must be a creative person. If you have creativity in your mind, you can become a very good translator. So translators should not only be scientific. Sir, I know the rules and regulations. I am scientific. No, you cannot be a very good translator. To translate in your mind, you should have some creativity. You should be a man of imagination. You should be a poet. If you translate science itself, if you are a poet, what you are taking to another language will be very good. Otherwise, somewhat it will be vague. We should not give a chance to that. So, these are the few points I would like to make here. If you want to become a translator apart from your studies, you must be good in both the languages, cultures. You must know the manner and movement of that, and technically, you should be very good. Not only that, you should be a creative personality. What I told you, you should be a poet. If you are a writer, you will become a very good translator. Next, I would like to make what is translation? Simply, we can say translation is a replacement of textual material. There will be a textual material, you have to replace the textual material. When you replace the textual material, that should be exactly fit in that place. So there is something. When you are replacing another thing in that place, that should fit in that place. If it is not fit in that place, that cannot be translation. And translation is a conversion of meaning. I don't say that a person who is a scholar, expert in the field of translation, but the word, whatever the word that we use, the word is not important here. That will have some kind of a meaning into it. So we have to search the meaning. We have to catch the meaning. Translation is not just translating the words. We are taking the meaning from the words. Not only the words. If it is a paragraph, we should go into the paragraph. We have to catch the meaning. If you convert the meaning from one language to another language, that is called translation. The one more point he says, translation is an operation performed on languages. Translation is like an operation performed in the hospital. You have some problem. So you are going to replace an organ in the hospital. What the doctor will do, the doctor will examine the entire body. He will check, do you have any other diseases like this? He will check you and then he will do the operation. So the translation is like this. You have to check everything. If you are going to translate a poem, in what time it is written, what is the culture of the source language, what is the backgrounds, who has written this, everything you have to see, and then you must do the translation. That's what Ceci Catford says, translation is an operation performed on languages. Okay, so to the engineers, I would like to say, this translation, I'm not saying, I'm taking the NIDA's point. This is decoding the source language. So you would have studied when you are writing a program. You have to decode the source language. When you write a programming, you will be knowing that decoding and encoding. You have to decode the source language. When a person who is speaking in a language, you have to decode. What is the message? What is the matter? How he has told that information in that language. You must encode in the target language, but in the target language, it should be appropriate form. If it is not appropriate in the target language, it won't be good. The translation is like decoding and encoding. When you are writing a program, we use some decoding and encoding. We decode a program and the computer will encode it. In that way, we have to decode the entire message from the source language and we must give this in the target language. But in the target language, it should be appropriate. If it is not appropriate, that won't be the translation. That's a point given by NIDA. So one more point I would like to make, so I'm not making, that is given by Susan Bassnett. Susan Bassnett says, when you translate, you should keep three questions in your mind. What does the other say? What does the other say? And what does he mean? How does he say? Here we have to think. So whenever there is a person who is saying, who says something, we must find what does the சொல்றவர் என்ன சொல்றார், என்ன சொல்றார் மட்டும் இல்ல, what does he mean, what is the meaning. சொல்றது நல்லா தான் இருக்கும், but meaning உள்ள போனீங்கன்னா meaning will be completely different. Well, simply we use, இன்னும் தஞ்சாவூர்ல நம்ம பேசுறோம், பையன் எந்திரிச்சு சொல்றான் கிளாஸ்ல, சார் தண்ணி தவிக்குது சார் அப்படின்றான். என்ன சொன்னா தண்ணி தவிக்குது, மீனிங்க பாருங்க, தண்ணி தவிக்குதா, தண்ணி ஒன்றும் எங்கேயும் தவிக்க போறது இல்லையே, அவனுக்கு he is in need of water. அப்போ what does he mean? அவன் தண்ணி தவிக்குதுன்னு சொல்ல வரல, அவன் சொல்ல வந்த விஷயம் எனக்கு I want a water. அதை நான் அப்படி சொல்றான், but we can understand. So என்ன சொல்றான், what is the meaning, how does he say, அதை எப்படி சொல்றாங்கிறதே இருக்கு. So when he say change the modulation, நல்லாரு அப்படின்றத சொல்றதுக்கும் நல்லா இரு அப்படின்னு மாடுலேஷன் மாற்றும் போது the meaning will be different. So whenever you are translating something, you have to ask these three questions. What does the author say? What does he mean? How does he say? So when you change the modulation, when you utter the word in a different way, so the meaning will be converted. So the translation is not a business with the words. The translation is a business with the author, what he says and how does he say and what does he mean? What is the meaning? These are, okay, come back. Translation is neither a creative art nor an imitative art. Stands somewhat between the two. So as we discussed in the beginning, so that is what Hart Spence has told. Translation is neither a creative art, it is not imitative art. Some says it is a creative art, some says it is imitative art. Yes, it is creative and sometimes it is imitative, but it stands somewhat between the two. Sometimes the creativity will be more, sometimes the imitativeness will be more, but it is standing somewhere between the two. These are the points you should keep in your mind when you become a translator. So you should not exactly take everything from one language to another language. At the same time, you should not put everything as it is from the source language. If you have taken everything as it is and put it in the talker language, it will confuse the readers. Something is there in English. Exactly, you have taken everything to Tamil language. We could not understand uh, what is the aim of translation. What is there in the source language should be given to the talker language. That is the aim of a translation. If there is some problem, that won't be a good translation. Okay, so just now we'll discuss about the kinds of translation. Roman Egoption is a greatest scholar who has done a research on translation. He has divided translation into three types: intralingual translation, interlingual translation, intersemiotic translation. These are the three types of translation. What is this? The translation, we know that we're taking something from one language to another language, that is called translation. What is this three kinds of translation? Yes, intralingual translation. This is interpretation of verbal signs from one language to the same language. Something is there in Tamil language, we are translating from Tamil language to Tamil language, is called intralingual translation. If you have seen your Tamil teacher, அவர் புறநானூறு அகநானூறு ஈற்றடி முச்சிரா ஏனையடி நாச்சிரா சொல்லிட்டு சில வாய்ப்பாடுகள்லாம் உங்களுக்கு சொல்லி கொடுத்துருப்பாரு. நமக்கு அது புரிய போறதில்ல. இமீடியட்டா அவர் என்ன பண்ணுவார்னா, he will translate from English, sorry, Tamil to Tamil itself. தமிழ்ல தான் இருக்கும், திரும்ப அதை நமக்கு என்ன பண்ணுவாரு, தமிழ்லே டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணுவார். So that is called intralingual translation. That is also called translation. So the interpretation of verbal signs from one language to the same language is also called a translation. That is called intralingual translation by Egoption. So lots of Tamil, so classical Tamil are there. சங்க இலக்கியங்கள் சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, சங்க இலக்கியங்கள் எல்லாத்தையும் நமக்கு இன்னொருத்தர் அதை தெளிவுரை எழுதியிருக்காரு அப்படின்னா that is also translation. ஸோ ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ்ல இருந்து இன்னொரு லாங்குவேஜ் போனாதான் அது டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன் கிடையாது. சம்திங் கேன் பி தேர் இன் ஒன் லாங்குவேஜ் பட் தட் கேன் பி given in the same language is called intralingual translation. One more point, interlingual translation. This is exactly what we call is translation. This is from one another language. This is exactly what we discussed, interlingual translation. And intersemiotic translation, he says, intersemiotic translation, interpretation of verbal signs from one system to another system, verbal system to non-verbal sign system. There will be something in verbal system in words as a text. The text is taken to another form. There is a text. It is given as a music. That is also translation. There can be a text that is given in the dance. That is also a translation. There will be a text. The text is taken into a drama. That is also a translation. There is a text that is taken into an art form. That is also a translation. Translation may not be text to text, verbal system to non-verbal sign system, non-verbal sign system to verbal system will be also a translation. These are the three translations we have to understand. But nowadays, so we have a demand on interlingual translation itself. But when you think about translation, you should know these also: translation, interlingual translation, and intersemiotic translation. These are the concepts you can keep in your mind. This is by Roman Egoption. So one more, the great writer in English. So I'm from the English background. That's what I would like to discuss about John Dryden's three kinds of translation. He discusses three types of translation. One is metaphrase, second paraphrase, and third one imitation. So after doing practical translation, Dryden has come to this conclusion. Whenever there is a translation, what method you are going to follow? Are you going to take metaphrase? Are you going to take paraphrase? Are you going to take imitation? Here we have to understand what is metaphrase. Metaphrase is a word-to-word translation. Whatever is in the one language, we take everything to another language, that is metaphrase. We don't add anything. We don't explain anything. What is there in the source language, that is given in the target language. But the target language readers will understand or not. This is the biggest problem in metaphrase. So simply you can keep, what is there in the target language or source language, you are taking it to talk. So simply you can do word to word translation. This is the word there. We are translating it to another language. So how can they understand? Word to word. Whatever it is there, I can give in the target language. But I don't see the meaning. If you see the meaning, that is called paraphrase. So there will be a concept. A person who doesn't know about technology. So new technology is coming. If you translate it to another language, how can they understand? So there we have to explain. So explaining is called a paraphrase. That is meaning to meaning translation. Something is there, you have gone through, you have understand the meaning, and if you take the meaning to the target language, that is called a paraphrase, which is right, which is good, you have to know. So which is the necessity? If necessity, you can go into paraphrase. And a paraphrase is a necessity, you can go to the paraphrase. But John Dryden says paraphrase is a very good translation. Metaphrase should be omitted. Word to word translation is not necessary. We can leave metaphrase and we can work on paraphrase. What is there? What you understand, you take that to the target language. That is by John Dryden. And one more point, he says imitation. If anything is necessary, you can add something with it. Or if you think that it is not necessary, you can avoid it. This is called imitation. So someone says that imitation is not a translation because you are giving your own point also. There is a poetry, you are translating that poetry to another language, but you think that it is not good. If you feel that it is not good, you can delete. You feel that, okay, we can add something in that place, you can add. So how can it be the translation? They can say, but for the sake of the target language readers, so you are translating a poem from English to Tamil, you think that if we add something in this place, it will be helpful. If you think like this, you can add. Why not? This is imitation. These are the three kinds of translation John Dryden has analyzed. He says metaphrase, paraphrase, and imitation. Metaphrase is a word-to-word translation that is not good, but paraphrase is giving exact meaning, so we can accept phrase. But imitation, there is a controversy. If it is imitation, it will not be the translation. It will be like a creative writing. So we no need to touch it. So as per your need, if you need paraphrase, you can go for paraphrase. If you need metaphrase, you can go for metaphrase. If it is needed imitation, you can go it. According to the text, according to the background, according to the time, you can select your own translation. That is what Dryden says. So come back. I have some points. The problems of translation. Yeah, nowadays we have lots of problems. Translation is not the easiest job. Yes, it is not so easy because two different languages are not the same. The structure of the language will completely be different. The grammar of the language will completely be different. If you go into English, the grammar of English will be different. So in English, we discuss the 12 tenses, but in Tamil, we have only 3 tenses. They have the present tense, past tense, future tense, and they have continuous tenses, they have perfect tenses, they have perfect continuouses. So many things are there, but they have simple, compound, complex kind of a sentences, direct and indirect. So that grammar is completely different. But if you come back to Tamil, Tamil grammar is entirely different. We have Otru in Tamil, but they are not having that kind of a grammar, right? So the structure of the language will completely be different. So whenever you translate a sentence from English to Tamil, the structure will be complicated. What to do it? We cannot have the same structure. If you take the sentence structure itself, English, yes, VO, subject, verb, object. But what happens in Tamil? Subject, object, and verb. So this is the structure of Tamil. So it will confuse us. So we must come to the conclusion. So no two different languages are the same. That's what the structure of the language will be a greatest difficulty to the translators. They have to decide which will be right, which is not to be omitted. That's one thing. The language will be the problem. Second, the culture will be the problem. The cultural terms, how to translate. இப்போ தாலி கட்டுறதுங்கிறத எப்படி நம்ம டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்றது, காது குத்துறதுங்கிறத எப்படி டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்றது. So many terms we have in Tamil. If you go back into the Tamil culture, lots of things are there. Everything we have a culture. We have cultural words. Like I told you, in English we say not. If you give so not in English, will they understand that it is a marriage? They put a not. Just think about it. Yaar boring ceremony. What is this? See, if you think about Kadani Vila, we should go back. அந்த கலாச்சாரத்தை நம்ம அப்படி யோசிச்சு பார்த்தோம்னா ஒரு காதணி விழான்னா அதுல எவ்வளவு விஷயங்கள் இருக்கு. அது காது குத்தணும், அதுக்குள்ள so many cultural items are there. Simply air boring ceremony will not give all the meaning. So marriage அப்படின்னா okay, it's okay. தாலி கட்டுறது அப்படின்னா so they put a knot அப்படின்னு சொல்லி can we understand everything? If in Tamil Nadu, if there is a marriage, you think about it from the beginning to the end, how many things will be taking place. At the same time, for the death also we have number of words we have in our culture. But everything we have lots of words. How to translate these words? Can we have another word? If we give another word, will they understand? So can we explain it? This is the biggest problem. The cultural terms, not only from Tamil to English, from English to Tamil also this will take place. So this is the second problem of translation. Third, technical terms. So Tamil, technically we are not to that level strong, but English is a language of technology. So if there is a technology, they are giving new words. New words are coming every day. Can we translate all the words? There is some words I have given. Chudidar, jeans, Bluetooth. Can we translate these terms? But if you translate in the Tamil, people will they understand? Lots of every field. If it is a chemistry, lots of words are coming out. Microbiology, lots of words are coming out. If you take mobile technology, every day lots of words are coming out. How to translate it? If we translate it, will they take it? So there will be another controversy is there. So some technologies are coming. So like we can take it Facebook. Yeah, Facebook is translated, right? So it is accepted. So can we translate Bluetooth like this? Bluetooth is another technology. So Bluetooth is the name of the person. அந்த வார்த்தையை நல்லா யோசிச்சு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ப்ளூடூத் அப்படின்ற ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு மன்னன் அவர் தனக்கிட்ட இருந்தது பூரா மற்றவங்கள்ட்ட கொடுத்தான். அதே மாதிரி அந்த டெக்னாலஜி ஷேர் பண்றதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்றதுனால அவனோட பேரை தூக்கி வச்சாங்க. இதை போயிட்டு நீங்க நீலப்பலன் டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், everything will be collapsed in that place. So when you translate in the technical terms, lots of issues will be there. Technology translate பண்ணலாமா கூடாதா, there is a controversy. There are some arguments. சில பேர் பண்ணியே தான் ஆகணும், நான் யூஸ் பண்றத நான் தமிழ்ல தான் பேசுவேன், எப்படி இங்கிலீஷ்ல யூஸ் பண்றது அப்படின்னு சில பேர் சொல்றாங்க. ஆனா அப்படி இங்கிலீஷ்ல உள்ளது தமிழை கொண்டு வந்தோம்னா அந்த இங்கிலீஷோட ஒரிஜினாலிட்டி போயிடும். எப்படி when we go to another state, how they will understand. So these are all the biggest problem. Technical terms will be the problem. But as I already told you, words with several meanings. Some words will have lots of meanings. தமிழ்லையும் அப்படிதான். படின்ற ஒரு வார்த்தை எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா எவ்வளவு மீனிங் இருக்கு. சோ அந்த படின்ற ஒரு வார்த்தை எத்தனை படி, சொல்றபடியா, மாடிப்படியா, படிக்கிறதா, so many meanings will be there. When we translate, we must go into it. For example, I have given park, switch, nail. It has lots of meanings. We have to get the right meaning. And personal challenges. This is a very important point. When we translate, If I am very good in Tamil and English, no, my translation will be good. But you are not good in English language, but you are good in Tamil language, that translation will be different. There is a person who has known many languages, multilingual personality, his translation will be different. You are a poor person, your personality is like so somewhat different. You are affected by something in a ego or super ego or it. So in some ways you are affected by something, that personality will affect the translation. Can you understand this? உன்னுடைய personality will affect the translation. நம்ம என்ன தோன்றோமோ அது மாதிரி தான். ஒரு ஒரு நல்ல பர்சன் ஒரு poetry translate பண்றான். There is a criminal, he translate the poetry, but the two different translations will be different. No, ஒரு நல்லவன் translate பண்ணதுக்கும் ஒரு criminal translate பண்ணதுக்கும் and the criminality will go into that poetry. So the personality will affect, the personal challenges will affect the translations. So everybody will have a personality. ஒருத்தன் நல்லவன், ஒருத்தன் கெட்டவன், ஒருத்தன் ஒரு டென்ஷனா இருப்பான். ஸோ அவனுக்கு ஒரு பர்சனாலிட்டி இல்லாத ஒரு பர்சனை we couldn't meet. So if a book is given to translate to 10 person, we can get 10 different translations. So which is the right translation? That's the problem. That is the limitation of translation. And social and geographical factors. Your society will affect the translation. The geographical patterns will also affect the translation. In what kind of a society you are. If you are a poor person, your translation will be different. If you are a rich person, your translation will be different. If you are a village, your translation will be different. If you are from the city, your translation will be different. For all these things, we must come to the conclusion. So how to avoid these problems of translation? So for the first point, structure of the language. We have to be very good in both the language. That's what I told you earlier. To come out from the problems of translation, we must know both the culture of the language, both the language very well. Technically, we should be very strong. If you don't know the technology, our translation will not be good. We must personal challenges. If you want to be a very good translator, you should come out your personality. அங்க அந்த தனிப்பட்ட நபர் இருக்கவே கூடாது. He should come out from the personality. If you come out from your own personality, your translation will be good. If you keep your personality inside, that will definitely affect your translation. At the same time, you should come out from social and geographical factors. Social and geographical factors should not affect translation. So as I told you earlier, you should come out from the social and geographical factors also. Once again, we look back what we discussed and we can come to the conclusion. Yeah, as I told you earlier, so you please think of translation as a field to work. So I'm talking with engineers. So the engineers, you can have translation as a part-time business. A lot of demands are there in the society. You go into Google and you search translation companies. Lots of translation companies are there, like the pros.com, translation database, translation directory. You register yourself as a translator. Whenever translate from the tools, lots of updated tools are there. Some tools you have to pay, some tools will be free. The free tools, so some features will not be there. If it is a paid tool, lots of features will be there that will help you a lot. So the engineers, they can have translation as a part-time business. So I'm not telling for a word sake. So you go into it, you take the translator's profile. You know how to take the profile. You just go into the translation company freely. You can get the profile of the translators. Most of the translators are engineers. So at least per day, if you are a beginner, you can do 500 words translation. But if you are an expert, you can do 200 words translation. If you translated 2000 words, not like 200, 2000 words you can do. If you do 2000 words per day translation, if it is 2 rupees in a day, in a single day, you can earn 4000 rupees. Is it okay or not? You have to think about it. So think about translation as your career, and keep all the points in our mind. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Your words is very, I think, very useful for our students in future. Definitely, they will take it this and take a message. Definitely, they will obey. Thank you so much. I think you are spending your valuable time for us, for our students. Once again, I'm very thankful for you. Thank you, sir.